Music. Assalamu alaikum. Hi, I hope you're all well. My name is Maryam and I'm from Multan. Today's story happened to my sister a few years ago. It started when she and my brother-in-law were posted to live near Cadet College. The house they were given was very old, renovated so people could live there, but it was an old place on a hill, very green around it, lots of tall grass, almost like a little patch of forest. At first everything seemed fine. The area was quiet, very green, but soon strange things started to happen that made my sister and brother-in-law leave the house quickly. I won't name the college, but anyone who's seen those kinds of schools can picture the kind of area I'm talking about. The first major event happened in the morning. My brother-in-law had left for work, and my sister was home alone with their 2 kids and the maid. It was still early. Someone had shifted around the house earlier, and there was a heavy interior door that wasn't fixed in place. It belonged to a small room off the dressing area. The door had been left propped on its side, leaning against the wall next to the dressing table. My sister was sitting at the dressing table when, suddenly, that heavy door moved by itself and fell straight onto her. It struck her on the head. She had to be taken to a foreign hospital. She was bandaged up, a head wound treated. After that, the whole family was shaken. They couldn't understand how a heavy door just slid and fell out of nowhere. After that, shadows started appearing in the house. They also began finding snakes inside, lots of them. The property had tall grass and little woods, so snakes weren't impossible, but these incidents were strange. Sometimes a big snake would simply appear in the living room and they'd have to call the maid to kill it. That kind of thing kept happening. Another odd thing happened at night. My sister and brother-in-law liked to walk together in the evenings. There was a long road by their house and an old British Air Office building at the side, closed and abandoned. One cold winter evening, around 10 at night, they walked past it and both heard the sound of a shower running from inside the old building, even though there was no water or electricity connected to it. When they moved closer, they saw what looked like a small white dog, Fluffy, with long hair sitting there. My sister told my brother-in-law, "Look how beautiful that dog is, what's it doing here?" They watched it for maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then it vanished like it simply disappeared into thin air. After a while, my sister also dreamed of a woman in a yellow dress. At first the woman appeared in the dream as a cousin figure. My sister thought she recognized her and said, "You're my cousin." But the woman replied, "No, I came in the shape of your cousin to tell you something. Leave this place, get out of here now, vacate this house." A few days later, by Allah's will, another family arrived who needed the house, and my sister's husband received a promotion. They moved into a different house, and the strange incidents stopped. Music. Assalamu alaikum. I want to tell a story about a family I know. This one is scary and tragic because it destroyed 2 families. It involves a bride's mother and the bridegroom's mother. Let me give a bit of background first. This is from my mother's side of the family. There was a marriage plan between 2 cousins. They were supposed to get married and had been engaged for many years. As so often happens, dowry cases and money issues started before the wedding. The bride's new family didn't have the finances they expected, and after the wedding things went very badly. The bride was treated like a servant in her in-law's house. She became sick, mentally fragile, not eating properly, in very bad condition. Her parents went to visit and found their daughter in a terrible state. In desperation, they went to a woman who supposedly does spells and talismans. They didn't know she would be what she was. The woman recognized signs and told them she knew what had been done. She even said it had something to do with a shrine ritual people sometimes used to harm others, a local dark practice that, in her words, affects people around the 11th night of a month. The girl's parents were shocked and scared. Shortly after, tragedy struck. The girl's father and her brother were killed in an accident. The mother was devastated. fell into shock. The groom's father, my niece's father-in-law, also died a few weeks later in an accident. The household fell apart. The brides-in-laws and the bride's extended family were in chaos. People started pointing fingers at that woman who had done talismans. Her involvement and the whole situation led to more conflict. The bride was pushed and mistreated so much that she could not handle it and was eventually divorced. After all of these events, the groom's elder brother committed suicide over financial and emotional pressures. Nothing good came of this. 2 families were destroyed. I won't give my name. This happened in the past, but the pain was real and it ruined lives. Music. Assalamu alaikum. I want to share one short thing about my own home. This was in 2018. My in-laws have a joint family home. Even with so many people around, sometimes the house felt empty, like a lonely place. One winter night, I'd been living there about 3 months. It was late, only the women were home. Every man in the house had gone out for their weekly meeting. I had prayed and gone to lie down. I wasn't fully asleep. My eyes were half closed. You know when your eyelids are relaxed but you're not completely out. Suddenly I heard a voice at the door, my husband's exact voice, in the same tone he always used when he talked to me. My heart leapt. I thought, maybe he's come home early and is planning a surprise. I opened my eyes to look, but nobody was there. I checked the bathroom and around the room. No one. I called out, no answer. A few seconds passed, 4 or 5, and then the voice faded. I searched the whole house, and nobody had come home. All the men were still out. That sound was so clear, like someone standing right outside my door speaking in my husband's voice. I wanted to share that because it unsettled me deeply, even though nothing else happened after that. Music. Now, a story about my father. He told this one, and it happened in 2004. My father is a civil engineer and was posted in Sitapur district. He'd rented a very old house, far out from town in an open area with almost no neighbours. The house was old style, a big courtyard, large rooms, a hand pump in the yard. The doors used the old chain and lock system. Some colleagues who stayed with him saw something strange at night. One of the men woke up and saw a creature standing in the courtyard. As he moved closer, it seemed to grow, getting taller, coming toward him. He ran, locked his room, sat trembling. The next morning he told my father, who laughed it off. He'd lived in cities, faced many kinds of trouble, and said, "We won't believe in these things." But the colleague had seen it and wouldn't stay anymore. Another time, a non-Muslim contractor who had been hired to do some work also saw the thing and even fired shots at it. After he told them, everyone had to accept that whatever it was had been witnessed by more than one person. The contractor left too. One night my father was alone. He'd been reading by candlelight because there was no electric light. He felt drowsy but couldn't sleep, so he opened the small window near his bed to let the mosquitoes out, then closed the door. Later he heard knocking, like something tapping at the door from outside, and the sound of a hand pump working in the yard. My father checked everything was locked from the inside. No one could have got in. He stayed where he was, grabbed a chair and kept reciting. Then his bed seemed to shake as if someone had moved it. He was scared but kept reciting, and eventually fell asleep. In the morning, after the Fajr prayer, he opened the door and everything looked normal. The pump was dry. There wasn't a single drop of water disturbed. He was puzzled. Later the servant told him, "Sir, this place isn't safe. People are found dead around here, sometimes bodies dumped and left because the area is so deserted." When my father learned that, he understood why there might be strange things at night, and they left the house. My father told me later that if you let fear take hold of you, it becomes heavier and controls you. He was brave and didn't let it get to him, but he cautioned that in such situations you have to control your fears or they'll control you. Music. Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Karachi, and I want to tell a story my grandmother told me. This is just after 1947, right after partition. People were moving back and forth. Families who left houses behind sometimes had them taken by new arrivals. My grandmother's family moved into a house in Faisalabad, a neighbourhood called Tarbad, if you know the area. A big open home with bushes and paths around it. Life started to settle down, but my grandmother began noticing something strange happening on Thursday nights. She felt like a gathering was taking place in one of the room's voices, people calling out prayers. One night she went to check and slightly opened the door of the room we called the family gathering room. She looked in and saw men sitting in white robes, their faces hidden, reciting something. She was frightened and quickly closed the door. After that, a voice swore the leaders of that group spoke. They told her to keep quiet about what she had seen and promised they would not harm her so long as she kept this secret. My grandmother kept quiet at first, but later she told someone in the family about it. The next morning she woke to find the room filled with termites, the walls and fabrics covered. She realized she'd made a big mistake by breaking their confidence. She felt terrible, as if she'd been punished for revealing the secret. She then decided to sit in that room on a Thursday night, prayed each other and waited. The group appeared in her dream and told her they had forgiven her and that the gatherings would no longer take place in that house. Years later, the family sold the house. My grandmother would tell us, secrets are trusts. If someone shares a secret with you, don't tell others. Keep it as a trust. Music. This last story is from 2008 or 2009, when I was at university. Holidays had just started the day before the break and I had to stay on campus overnight for some reason. I'm from a small town, Bhagalpur, so I didn't have anywhere else to stay that night. I called a friend who lived on campus and he said, "Sure, stay with me. It's holiday time, I'm around." He'd been heading out but agreed to let me crash for the night. The university campus is large and mostly empty during holidays. The hostel I went to was a 3-story building. My friend lived on the 3rd floor and that floor was practically empty. I arrived around 5 in the evening. We chatted, I ate, and we stayed up late. My friend was tired and said, "Go ahead, take my bed if you want, I'll sleep elsewhere." I wasn't sleepy, so I wandered around a bit before heading back. The campus is surrounded by open grassy areas and some patches of trees. There are benches and grass along the road, and beyond that is thick brush. The street lights were off that night. I was walking with my old Nokia phone in my hand, just texting and walking. I felt like a couple of guys had passed by me, 3, maybe, so I glanced back. Nobody was there. I shrugged it off and kept walking. A little further on, I saw 2 eyes glowing in the dark, bright, reflective, staring straight at me. They weren't at a human height. They were way up, maybe 9 or 10 feet off the ground. It felt like whatever had those eyes was huge. I froze. The thing wasn't walking like a person. It was gliding toward me, flat-footed, like something sliding. The shadow was completely black, but I could see a shape dark and huge and the eyes shone like a cat's in a light. It moved past me in maybe 5 to 10 seconds, covering 15 or 20 feet in a flash. When it passed, the hairs on my arm stood up and I felt like I'd seen something impossible. I couldn't see a face, only those eyes. I turned back to look and it was gone into the dark, some distance away. I ran straight to the hostel, threw open the door, and my friend woke up startled. I told him everything, breathless. He just laughed and said, "These things happen here sometimes," as if it were no surprise. But to me it was terrifying. I still remember how fast it moved and how those eyes looked like lights in total darkness. Music.